members are here. Art Gerbeck is not able to be here this evening. Brian, do you have anybody who wishes to speak? Is there anybody who wishes to bring up anything before the town? If not, we'll move on. We do have a set of meeting minutes from July 25th meeting. Does somebody wish to move those in for approval?
So moved. I'll second.
Moved by Gil, second by Randy. Anything that anybody wishes to change? If not, then all in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's approved. We have a bill payment. The bill payment total is $403,307.65 for voucher numbers 2016-1450 through 1576. Need a motion to pay these bills. Moved by Larry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Gil. Any changes, any bills that anybody wishes to hold? All in favor of paying these bills?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's approved. We'll go to Paul and Highway. For how many trees? And these are the trees that are on town roadways that need to come down. Great. I think it was Hoppies that did your work, right, Mike, over here? How did they do? How was their work? Are you seeking a motion on that, or you just want to place a purchase order? Okay, does anybody wish to move authorizing this tree cutting?
Would it be any cheaper if we wait a little bit? I mean, I don't know what the busy time of the year is for these companies, but if we wait till fall, is it any cheaper than if we do it now during the summer?
I don't think so, and I know a lot of them lay their guys off. They don't have enough work to do it. Before, when I dealt with them, I tried getting them some feet on in the winter last year. And they waited a couple months to lay their guys off for 2 months during the winter. I don't think it's a good time or a bad time for it. I'm a little leery on it because I had a few people that get close because they sent it out to 4 of them. And I know one of the other guys, he usually bids on it, or brings up quotes on tree cutting. He usually gives a quote time, so I'm guessing he's getting bids. Now that's the problem we run into if we wait. These guys start getting busy, the price will go up. More trees that are dying in people's yards, and obviously they're going to start using more of their yards. They're treating what they are up. And you're going to get 23 of them.
Now, did you break down the tree cutting into two different districts, or?
I did it in, I had an A split and a B list, and I had a C choice. So if the bigger the job, the smaller guy didn't fit on, choose the A tree, or he didn't fit on just the B tree. The two guys that came close, one guy said it's only the difference, this is what it is.
So they bid both A and B, so they both quoted C?
They both quoted C.
Okay.
Okay, we do not have a motion on the table.
I have one question. You said you didn't have it in your budget, obviously. Where would this money come from then?
It ends up having to either be pulled from another account that maybe didn't spend, or we have to throw some of the fund balance in it.
Okay. I'll make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Larry to go ahead with this order to cut trees. Anything further on the question?
I just still sort of think that in the future, we need to really look at adding a person that can cut trees. Now we're over $30,000 in 2 weeks on cutting trees.
Yeah,
That's
good.
probably 3/4 of a guy's salary right there for 1 year.
Now, these,
And then we'd be able to use them for other things the rest of the year.
it's a good idea if we can get there, but both of these are, you're talking along roads with power lines and other things in the way where you need a professional outfit that knows what they're doing. The other one were trees that could have fallen, if we're lucky, in the pond, if we're unlucky on the building at the youth center.
But I think it's
These-
just the
these
beginning of it
require
over a long time.
Okay, last meeting, I asked if we could, get to National Grid and try to bring them to the table to talk over, what their obligation is as far as cutting trees that are next to electrical lines and stuff like that. Because we're not gonna be getting the bill for everything that's next to a telephone pole. I mean, they're gonna have to share in this thing as well as us.
Well, their job is to trim, not necessarily to take down. Therein lies our problem.
But if they do trim, that could, lessen our exposure as far as taking electrical lines down or, falling.
They'd get them down far enough so if we had a person, he could take it.
I know on Kruger Road,
They-
just last month, I think, Councilman Doucette and I both had calls, I don't know if anybody else did, but National Grid hired someone to take down a tree on, Kruger Road. And, so I know they're cutting trees down, for people that have issues with electrical lines, so.
And they left most of it there for Paul's crew. They just dropped all the branches and everything and left it. It probably took them couple
Only
days to
because
clean
the
it up.
homeowner, I guess, said he wanted to keep the wood.
Made a deal with the guy that was cutting the trees down. I don't even know if they were gonna right away. The homeowner made a deal with the guy cutting the tree down, and the guy told him, we cut this down, the town may not pick it up because we are a tree company doing this in Mohawk, and this isn't really Mohawk's responsibility.
It was a heck of a mess, Paul, when I got there.
Yeah, I know.
Felt sorry for your guys over there dragging that stuff out.
We have a lot of stuff going on this time of year, the paving again today, and we're doing it the rest of the week, so that's why I told everybody throughout it, we're paving. Shipping sometimes has to be put off a little bit, but we pave highest priority at this time of the year. When I get the equipment available from the county, when I get guys from the town. So if the shipping has to ship to us, I'm telling you, right along. And it's been the tree in summer, it may shift a little bit, but my phone rings every day.
You're paving on Hill Road.
Hill Road is finished tomorrow, so I can strike yet for this Hill Road. Then we have, a few more roads to look at.
Okay. I do believe we have a motion before us. Kathy, if I'm not mistaken, we don't have a second yet, do we? You do have a second. Okay. Anything further on the question? If not, then all in favor of approving this purchase of tree cutting, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Paul, you can go ahead. Anything else for Paul? Okay, then we'll move on to Rich Donner.
It's dry out there.
Well, good.
It is, Randy jinxed me by asking the last meeting if we had any leaks. Well, we now fixing to do on that now. Sometimes they're easy, sometimes they're not. The one we just fixed on Hoover Road was running right in the ditch, and nobody would have noticed it if it went on for a lot longer. We wouldn't usually fix it. If anybody's caught any water where it shouldn't be this time of year, please give us a call. We can actually contact it. Not our issue, that's their issue, but, their issue is replacing it.
Anything for Rich? Thank you. Mike Rinaldi, Rec?
Just one thing, Wheatfield Family Picnic, August 21st, flag raising at 10:45 a.m. Runs all day till about 5 or 6. Games, entertainment, food. we'll be out there, rain or shine.
You had another tree, if we can go back to trees, you had another one in, Janicki Park.
Janicki. I'm waiting for responses.
Still can't get a price.
Yeah, I called 3 different places. Davey, though, I'm gonna get that number from you. I didn't call him yet, so I'll call them and see what they can do. Hopefully they can get out there soon.
Yeah, that's a tree that's actually falling down, but and it's way down, it caught on another tree, so it's standing there at an angle now, right in the guy's backyard.
And it's an interesting one in a park that we really don't have like
There's
a
no
way
access
in.
to it.
And it's like you could go through that lot, but that's not ours, or you can go through the gentleman's house, but you'd probably have to go on the neighbor's yard too. So that'll be an interesting dilemma once we actually do get numbers, how we actually get in there.
Okay, anything for Mike?
I see that we got the brick sealed, in front of the community center finally, huh, Mike? Good job.
We also had 3 baseball banquets, or one was girls softball, Coach pitch. So it was an interesting week last week, and there's one more tomorrow evening. And baseball is over for the season. Hard to believe. Mike Clock, anything? We did discuss that you're going to put together some numbers for some of the improvements around the buildings, things that have been in need of work. Try and get us numbers early enough that we can get it into a motion. Anything for Mike?
Yes, the cars on the boulevard from the used car lots, there was one used car dealership on the boulevard that was kind of like parking the front end of their cars like real close to the road, and they did take care of that for you going out there and instructing them. They were possibly in the right of way. Something doesn't look right. I mean, it looked pretty close. Yeah. Great.
Thank you, Mike. Bridget? Anything exciting? Anything for Bridget? Arlene? The sun's out of your eyes. So I guess we're up to Tim Wendell. Hey, does anybody have any questions for Tim? We do have a couple of motions. One of them is obviously going to be held off, but I believe we can probably do the seeker motion, Abe.
The first motion is for a resolution making a negative secret declaration for the proposed amendments to the rural residential district so as to allow farming as more fully set forth in the motion package.
Okay, why don't we read now therefore be it. From there on down. Okay. From there on down.
Now therefore be it resolved, the Wheatfield Town Board, in accordance with the State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA, has determined that the proposed enactment of this local law will not adversely affect the natural resources of the state and or the health, safety, and welfare of the public, and is consistent with social and economic considerations, and therefore issues the attached secret negative declaration, parts 1, 2, and 3 of the EAF, in accordance with section 617.7 of the SECRA regulations, and be it further resolved that the supervisor is authorized to sign the environmental assessment form EAF.
Does anybody wish to make the motion for seeker on the rural residential change?
So moved.
Moved by Randy, do we have a second? I'll go ahead and second. Anything on the question? If nothing on the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That is approved, yeah. We're gonna skip the second motion, which is on the actual changes, because we have some changes to the changes. And then we have the, additional item.
The supplemental motion is for a resolution to allow Lynx Technology to review computer record management programs by granting temporary access as a guest admin domain as follows. Whereas the town of Wheatfield has been in contact with Lynx Technology regarding computer records management program assistance, and whereas the town of Wheatfield requests that Lynx Technology provide pricing and specific options to the town based on the town's needs, and whereas said request for pricing and options from Lynx Technology would require Lynx Technology to review our systems, which would be done by the creation of a guest admin domain, which would be deleted when Lynx Technology has completed their review. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Wheatfield shall allow Lynx Technology to create a guest admin domain to allow Lynx Technology to provide pricing and specific options based on the town's computer records management program needs, and that upon the completion of said review and proposal creation, that said guest admin domain shall be deleted, and that any information reviewed or obtained by Lynx Technology dealing with the town's proprietary information and any information regarding specific town accounts, vendors, customers, residents, and businesses shall be considered confidential information and shall not be released nor copied and stored by Lynx Technology for the purpose of this review of computer records management programs and associated pricing and options.
I'll go ahead and make that motion. Need a second?
I'll second on the question.
Go ahead, Larry.
So after this, I guess I'm asking Kathy then. So after they do this analysis of our computer systems and record storage needs, they're going to come up with like a scope of work or a work plan and potential pricing that it's going to take to complete that objective. But based on the quotes that they tell us that price is, we may have to in turn bid it. I mean, we're not going to just, we're going to award, they're not the sole source, but why we're going to use this document to like bid it.
If we need to, and I guess we'll have to look at what their recommendation is and what we may need, and then we can bid that out to see if we can.
Okay.
So then we're comparing, because right now we don't even know what to actually require, technology-wise. So if we're gonna bid it out and compare companies, we want to have some information.
Now, will they be looking, I know you have some previous concerns or issues with your scanners in your department, so will they be looking at how to connect it and give you, something that's operational that suits your needs too? Okay.
Yeah, the principal reason for the motion is just that Kathy's concerned that she's allowing an outside firm into some sensitive information and just wanted to make sure that the board favors doing this. So we're at the point, does anybody have anything further on it?
So this isn't costing us anything, they're actually coming in and doing a free analysis and a, what's like a statement of work and or a bid or specification. And, okay, good.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second. Anything further, guys? If not, then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That is approved, guys. I think that takes care of motions, right, Dave? So then we'll go on to board member items. Larry, anything?
I don't have anything tonight, thank you.
Gil, anything?
The only thing I had was that, Robin Zastro, our head constable, received 2 grants, one for the speed radar sign and one for new ballistic vests. And he paid for them out of his own line items. Now his line items are empty. He's requesting that we transfer the money back to his line item. Now, is this something we need to wait till Ed Mongols,
Ed would make the physical change. Usually he holds and does it towards the end of the year. It comes down to a question of whether we are authorizing Robin to go ahead and spend the extra money, which we already did.
Well, his two line items are empty.
Right.
One of his cars right near, now needs maintenance, he can't send it out. He has no way to pay for it.
Well, he can send it out if we approve it.
But his line items are empty, because we used the grant money. We put the grant money in the general fund and we used his line item. So how do we let him be able to spend money for the rest of the year? He has to.
The same way we do in highway, the same way we do in general or any other account. We prove it.
We just tell him to go ahead and do what he's gotta do, and
And then the actual physical changes in money are done toward the end of the year.
but right now he's at zero. So he's gonna be minus then at the end of the year, minus whatever he spends.
We probably could ask Ed Mongold to move the revenue we receive from the county, that Catherine Lance obtained, for us to pay for like half of that, speed sign. And move that over back if
That's
could be-
basically what I'm asking, what we do.
Okay, I'll ask Ed to make that move.
That's all I have.
Randy?
I have nothing.
I do have a couple of things. I did receive the drainage study on Friday afternoon. I have not had time enough to read it. It's a book about that thick and a whole bunch of maps. It is available to be viewed. Kathy, did you get a copy? Okay, so Paul, I think you got a copy? I asked Dave if he could come to a meeting and give us some of the highlights, or lowlights as the case may be, about the drainage study. And he said he could make it at our next meeting. So he would like to bring it to his ideas to the attention of the board and to Paul. I think he and Paul have actually spent quite a bit of time together working on this project. But it's now available for viewing if people want to see it. Right now I have it in my office. We'll probably have it at home pretty soon to be able to read it. The other thing I have is that Elmer Moji, longtime, probably lifetime resident of Wheatfield, is going to be 103 years old on the 20th, Saturday the 20th. And they're going to hold as you may be aware, Elmer's been selling garlic, onions over at this farmer's market in North Tonawanda for most of those years. And they're going to hold a special get-together in his favor at 9:30 that Saturday morning. So if you do have a chance to be there, I'm sure Elmer would love to see you. That's what I have. So with that, we're back to public input. Is there anybody who wants to speak on any subject before the town?
I think we should have a moment of silence, Bob, if we could, at the
Okay.
end, for Ken DeVoe, Sanborn firefighter. He was involved with Tri-Community. At 56 years old, passed away, I believe, a week ago after his first chemo treatment.
Yeah, I attended the wake yesterday. He was put to rest this morning. Ken was a good friend of not only Sanborn, a very good friend of Sanborn Fire Company, but he was president of Tri-Community for many years, I think 10 years. Had a great family, and we will miss him, so let's have that moment of silence now. Thank you. Kenny was also a member of the Armed Services. He was, I believe, full-time for 4 years. Then he joined the Guard, Air National Guard, and I think he was still with the Guard up until just recently. He was a person who truly believed in service to the community. Our next meeting, August 22nd at 7:30 p.m. We will have a bid opening at that meeting. If there's nothing further, then I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Randy and